What's going on, Rangers fans? My name is Jimmy Fanizzi, and welcome to another edition of From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast presented by DraftKings. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure you follow us on X and Instagram at BlueSeats94 and use the hashtag BlueSeats to chat with us on any and all topics at hand. You can also send us fan mail with any questions or opinions you have about the show from theblueseats at gmail.com. That's from theblueseats at gmail.com. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on all audio platforms. And be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. Before we even get started with today's episode, we heard the news this week about the passing of the legendary Eddie Jockman, who spent 10 years with the Rangers between the 60s and the 70s. We all know that legendary moment from when he was with the Detroit Red Wings. He came back in, the 1975-76 season. I was not around to see him play, but when I saw that highlight, when that Garden crowd chanted, Eddie, Eddie, like I got legitimate goosebumps. I mean, that will forever be one of the greatest moments in Garden history, if not sports history. Just what he meant to the Rangers franchise. Despite the fact that he never won a championship, he will go down as one of the greatest goalies to ever play this game. His number 1 is up in the rafters, and deservedly so. Rest in peace to the great, the legendary Eddie Jockman. You will be missed by all of us Ranger fans and hockey fans everywhere. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk about something that I don't think I've ever really discussed on this show. Fantasy hockey, primarily involving the Rangers. And the reason why is because I actually had the opportunity to be on another show, if you haven't already seen or heard. It's called the Partial Breakaway Hockey Podcast. It's a fantasy hockey podcast where they give a bunch of fantasy advice to help you win in your fantasy leagues. And in the words of their intro, win at life, which I hope is true. But anyway, with that being said, I had the opportunity to sit down with these guys on their show, and I figured I would return the favor and have them on my show. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Nick and Junior from the Partial Breakaway Hockey Podcast. Gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure. I'm a bit nervous because I've never done fantasy hockey in my life, but knowing that you guys are on definitely makes me feel a little bit better about it. How's everything? And thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having us, man. We're excited, and there's always a first. Let us be the first.
Absolutely. Very happy to be here, Jimmy. Very happy to be here.
Hey, I'm happy to have you guys on. So before we even discuss anything fantasy hockey at all, we just received news this week that JT Miller has been named the 29th captain in New York Rangers history. Not even 2 weeks before, actually not even a week before preseason starts. Preseason gets underway this upcoming Sunday, the 21st, actually. Really, really exciting stuff. We are days away from hockey being back. I'm super excited. But yeah, JT Miller named captain. I honestly was expecting it to be Vincent Trocheck. It was either going to be him, JT Miller, or possibly maybe Adam Fox as a dark horse candidate, but JT Miller, I don't see a problem with this at all. I know there were a bunch of jokes that Ranger fans were making about, just in line to get traded next, but let's hope that doesn't happen because, as you know, the last couple of captains the Rangers have had have been traded, Ryan Callahan and Jacob Trouba, hence why they haven't had a captain in a while. But with that being said, I like this move. Ever since JT Miller came back to the Rangers via trade from Vancouver, he literally has made me eat my words because I initially did not want him back because of what I've heard about him being, I guess, a locker room cancer or something you can say in Vancouver. Apparently, him and Elias Pettersson did not get along that well. I don't know how true that is, but I am happy to eat my own words and say I was wrong because ever since he came back, he has stepped up and become a true leader on this Rangers team. Definitely something that they were missing all of last year, and they have definitely gotten that back toward the latter half of last season. So I really, really like this move. I really think it's going to help his play elevate that much more. Nick, I'll start with you. What do you think? Do you like, love, or hate that JT Miller's captain of the Rangers?
So I'll just say one of my listeners had reached out to me the moment that this news dropped and stated that this could either be really, really good or really, really bad. And the reason why he said that is because JT Miller is a no bull type player. He will be in your face. He will tell you how he feels, and he expects a lot out of himself, and he expects a lot out of his teammates as well. Being prepared, being ready to play hard nosed hockey. I mean, JT Miller does all of that, and in that way, I love this move. I think this is a great move because there was a little bit of a culture swing in New York last year,
Yeah.
and with Truba leaving, with some bad vibes coming from the general manager, putting people on waivers or threatening to put them on waivers. You kind of felt that there was a little bit of a shift in the locker room, and here JT Miller really comes in, and it's going to be in your face. He's going to be like, "Let's do our jobs," and I think that he's going to excel in that role.
Junior, what about you?
I love it. The only question I had was how is the locker room gonna react to a newbie coming in and automatically being
Mm,
named captain? But the reality is like he's been there before, he knows, and he's best friends with Trocheck, who you thought would be the next captain. So I don't think he'll
yes.
have a problem with that. So all in all, I think it's really like he plays to win. You can obviously tell he's got character. He's a little rough around the edges, but if there needed to be some kind of culture change in New York. And I think that's what they started doing by getting all these guys out. So maybe this will work. Like Nick, like our listener said, it could either be a really good thing or a really bad thing.
I
I'm
mean,
thinking good though. I'm thinking it's going to be good.
yeah, no, me too. I love this move. I have no problems with it at all. Even though I kind of was expecting it to be Trocheck, but I mean, Trocheck is going to be an alternate captain at least, so you have that going for you, along with Zibanejad and a couple of others. Um, I still do kind of worry about how the locker room is going to react, like you guys said before. But I guess we'll see what happens once the season gets underway. But I have no problem with this again, especially since what we saw with him coming back to the Rangers via trade during the latter half of last year at the trade deadline. I have no issue with this, and he has really stepped up and become a true leader on this team, something the Rangers have been missing all of last season. So I like this move, and congratulations to JT Miller being the 29th captain in New York Rangers history. Now let's talk some fantasy hockey, shall we? Something I am kind of familiar. I'm familiar with fantasy football, but never have I ever done fantasy hockey. But before I even get your guys' advice, how did you even come up with the idea for your show? How did you come up with the name? Like, what led you to come up with a fantasy hockey podcast?
Chat GPT. No, I'm just kidding. Well, the idea
AI's got the answer to everything now.
everything. No, we really like. I was watching Good Morning Football almost every day, and I was on a paternity leave, and then I just loved the feel that Good Morning Football had. Right, very casual, outgoing, like funny. That was the type of content I love, and I found hockey didn't have that. And like I just texted the guys and Nick and so on, and I was just like, one day maybe we should do that. Like that's all we do is talk hockey, fantasy hockey. We're like, that's all we think about. That's all we talk about. So it started there, and then we started diving in. And Nick, do you want to tell the story about our Roadcaster soundboard?
Oh boy.
So the thing is that when you're starting something like this, you talk about it a lot, and you say to yourselves, "Look, we all talk about hockey all the time. Literally, this is all we do is we talk hockey. We get together with our friends. We talk about hockey. So let's make it into a podcast. Let's have fun with it. So when do we start? Okay, well, first you need the equipment. You need a platform. You need to start somewhere."
Yeah.
And so we had no idea what to do. So we just jumped right into it. And the first soundboard that we found that was actually within our budget, we had to drive about 2 hours out in farmland.
Oh jeez.
We were
At like
passing by
10
tractors
p.m.
around 10 p.m. at night to meet this guy, and it felt like you were doing a deal that was illegal, but we were just buying a soundboard. That's all it was. But that's how the podcast started, and that was like 3 years ago now, and it's been a
Yeah.
lot of fun since. Like we just keep going, and I don't think we've missed maybe one episode or 1 week
One
of
week.
content in 3 years. So that's about how good it's going. I guess we're really enjoying it.
I was gonna say, you guys just recently hit 100 episodes, so congratulations to you guys.
Thank
That's
you.
a heck of an accomplishment. I'm almost there. This is episode 82, I believe, of this show. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Season 3, episode 2, but 82 episodes overall for this show. So it'll come up sooner than I think. So, but
Yeah.
congratulations to you guys. That truly is awesome. But meeting
Thank
a
you.
sketchy guy like that at 10 p.m. at night just for a soundboard, I got my questions about that. I wouldn't trust that guy with a 10-foot pole. But hey, whatever works and whatever gets you guys in the groove, I'm not one to judge. Now, for newcomers like me, when it comes to fantasy hockey, how does it fully work? Is it just like fantasy football? Like, how does fantasy hockey work?
Well, I'll start with this one. So, fantasy hockey, there's many different types of leagues that you could join, and there's very simple leagues where goals will count for 2 points and assists will count for 1 point, and you create a roster of maybe 10 players or 12 players. Then there's other leagues that are keeper leagues where you could keep these players from year to year, but only a certain amount of them. And then you have dynasty leagues, which Junior and I are really fond of. And
Experts at Nick.
oh, sorry, we're experts. That's what our podcast is about.
Oh my
Dynasty
gosh.
League. And really, you could keep your players indefinitely, but you have to draft really well at the beginning. You make trades during the year with other general managers, and it becomes like you're a real GM in that case. We play with a salary cap. So our teams cannot be more than a certain amount of salary, and it creates more dynamic trades that way, and more difficult decisions when you're creating your team. Depending on what type of, most people start with redraft leagues, which is every year they're gonna just pick a team, and that team will go the 82 game schedule. Maybe it's head to head, maybe it's not, but that's the beginning usually of where we started, and then we just wanted more, and we wanted more, and we wanted more, and that's how we got all the way to dynasty keeper leagues with salary caps and rules that go beyond anything you've ever seen before.
So that was going to lead into my next question, which I'll throw to Junior here. So for the newcomers, like, what league would you recommend for first timers for fantasy hockey? Is there any sort of league that you would recommend, or do you just jump right into it?
I'd recommend the Partial Breakaway Listener League, to be honest.
I see what you're doing there.
We'll get to that later, but that's a nice simple one that actually, if you don't mind, I'll plug it in because it does
No,
make
please
sense.
go ahead.
So if you want a little more action and something a little more fun that's a little closer to football, to the NFL, we kind of took what DraftKings did and FanDuel, where you pick a lineup every Sunday for football, and the best accumulation of points on that specific Sunday will win, right?
Right.
Well, we took that and we're applying it on a weekly basis, and we're going to accumulate points throughout the whole season. So you're never really out of it. Or if you have a bad week or a player gets injured on one night, you know what? The next week, you can switch that player up as long as you're under our $35 million cap. So we added a cap to it to make it interesting and a little more thoughtful, if you will. And
a little more challenging.
A little more challenging. And it avoids you having to like being able to take all the superstars too, right?
Right.
So, but generally speaking, for newcomers, I'd say keep it simple to start. And then if you do like a redraft league, 2 goals, 2 points a goal, assist, maybe if you want to add shots on goal, a league that considers shots on goal and makes it a little more exciting. If not, I mean, the Partial Breakaway Listener League is a good way to start.
Hey, speaking of DraftKings, you mentioned it, so I have to use code THPN to sign up. Just saying.
Sir.
Anyway, I digress. So, for the newcomers, would you say, you said keep it simple, but would you also say to kind of maybe give it a little more of like a challenge yourself type of mentality as well?
I just don't want anyone to feel discouraged if you challenge yourself too much, because
Mm,
it's the NFL is like 3-4 months, 3 months
yeah.
maybe, and NHL is a long season. So anyone who tries to challenge themselves a little too hard to start might get overwhelmed, not like it, not enjoy it, and then just not want to do it anymore. So
Mm.
I like the progression step better in the NHL for a hockey fantasy league. I don't know if Nick agrees with me or not, but that's the route I would take personally.
Nick,
Unless
when
you
you
have time to do research and you want to challenge yourself, then go ahead, you know. But
sorry about that, Junior. Nick, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say that the best thing that you could do is really grab a list, any list. I mean, there's Dauber Hockey out there. There's Partial Breakaway Podcast that just came out with their rankings, and there's all these rankings out there. Just grab a list if you're not sure or you're not aware of all the names on that list. It shouldn't really matter. Just follow that list. And I'll give you an example. I did fantasy basketball one year. I was really bored. It
Oh
was
boy.
during COVID.
wow,
I didn't know anything about basketball, but I said to myself, I'm going to join because a friend of mine was running it. I didn't know anything at all. I took a list, I followed that list, and I ended up following the players during the year because I was interested in the sport because I had a fantasy team that I was also interested in following. So even if you're not a big fan of fantasy, just doing one league, a simple league, and following a list to make your team during your draft, it's enough to get you into it, and then you'll see how addictive this becomes and how much fun this could actually be during the year.
and
And
Jimmy,
why me and Junior only talk about this.
to Nick's point, for the casual NHL fans, fantasy hockey is a great way to fall in love with the sport. And
Mm.
the frustration Nick and I and all fantasy GMs in hockey have is that the NHL doesn't market it as all at all. The NFL is full of betting and fantasy football. The NHL doesn't use that as a tool to grow their sport, and it's so frustrating, which is part of the reason why we wanted to create that casual fantasy hockey content, if you will.
Mm. Well, that was going to lead into my next point. It feels like, I do feel that hockey has grown more in popularity over the past few years, which is fantastic. But as far as fantasy sports are concerned, you're right. I even feel like fantasy basketball is even a bit more popular than fantasy hockey, which to me is kind of, I don't want to say a shame. I don't know what the proper word is to use, but I feel like it's more of like a disservice to how fantasy sports is factored into the daily lives of others. Obviously you have fantasy football, which is right at the top, right over
Yeah.
here, and then
Yeah.
for me, it would probably, even though I've never done it, fantasy baseball would be right up there as well. Then you have basketball, and then hockey, of course, would be the fourth sport, which is what everybody says. I feel like that shouldn't really be the case anymore, considering hockey's popularity has grown so much over the years, considering the fact that we have a bunch of young kids that all of the younger viewers are looking up to and saying, hey, I want to play more like that guy right there. So if that's the case, why wouldn't fantasy hockey become more popular?
Absolutely, well said. Fantasy hockey, I think, will grow as the sport keeps bringing in these new generation of fans, and I think that Junior and I are doing our best to make it grow as well. So
Yeah,
hopefully it continues in that trajectory because you know what, it's a lot of fun, and
yeah.
we're not talking about you don't necessarily have to have money on the line to make it fun.
Mm,
I'm in two leagues where it's just me and my family, and it's bragging rights, and we have fun with it, and we enjoy it. So, I don't want to discourage people to tell them that this is something that you have to put money into in order to become good. That's not the case at all.
yeah.
We've got plenty of space on our bandwagon for Rangers fans, so hop on.
Hey, you know what? Because of that, I might consider joining now. Thanks, guys. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first time touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Now I'm looking at some odds here to win the Super Bowl. I'm seeing the Buffalo Bills are at plus 475 to win it all. That might be something I'd go after, but that's just me. What you want to bet on is up to you. And new customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN to score $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Speaking of the Rangers, let's talk some fantasy with them now, shall we? Because I actually do have some over-under player projections that I want to share with you guys really quick, if you don't mind. I actually wrote down a few players, and I have some win totals. So why don't we say we get started with a guy who I think we all expect to have a very good season once again, and that is Artemi Panarin. He's in the last year of his contract. He'll be an unrestricted free agent after this season. His over-under point projection is 95. Where do you guys stand on that? Over or under?
I'll start. I'll go over. I'll go over.
Over, okay.
And here's a sneak peek into our projections, but we had him ranked 10th.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
so we're all expecting a big season from him. I'll let Nick speak for himself, but I boosted all Russian players in my rankings because they will get 2 weeks off during the Olympic break.
Yes.
And I think that'll help the better or the more elite players. It'll give them an extra boost towards the second half of the season. So Panarin, it was a huge boost for me. So yeah, definitely the over. Big things coming for Panarin. Nick?
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I bet the over as well. Our consensus rankings has him top 10 because I think I had him actually at 10 on the dot as well. A big thing, I'm expecting 100 points, maybe more than 100 points this year, and he just has everything going for him this year. So I'm really, really excited about Panarin.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going over as well. I expect big things from Panarin. I don't think he'll hit 120 points this year, but I do expect him to hit at least over 100 points. So I will go over on the 95 points. How about the newest captain, JT Miller, over under 79 points? Nick, I'll start with you.
So in my personal rankings, I had him at point per game. So 82 games played, 82 points. I think that, Junior, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in our consensus, he dropped a little bit closer to the 78 points, I think, or 77 points.
Well, he was ranked 42nd. I had him at 78 points. So
Yeah.
more or less the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so just a little bit of we disagreed a little bit on JT Miller, but I think just him being named captain is even more not pressure, but more understanding of how the team views him and how important he is to the team. And I feel much better than Junior's projection with my projection.
So you're going over on the points.
I'm going over.
How many points was it?
79 and a half.
It was 79.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have him at 78. So like just under.
Just under. Wow.
Just under.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I own stock of JT Miller. So if he goes over, I'll be pleasantly, I'll be happy.
Hey, whatever works. I personally am going to go slightly over. I think he'll have an 80-point season personally. I just feel like him being named captain is going to ignite a fire in him, probably more so than last year. I really, really do think his leadership role is going to step up even more, and he'll have another great season with the Rangers. I'm going 80 points for JT Miller, so I will go over on the 79. How about Adam Fox, a guy who I think everybody kind of has on their radar to have kind of a bounce back year, especially now that they have Gavrikov playing on his side. The over-under projection on Fox is 70 points.
Oh my
Junior,
God.
what do you think? Over-under.
I have him exactly at 70 points.
Oh, come on. There's no way, really?
I swear, 11 goals,
Oh,
59
wow.
assists. So, wow. Okay. Interesting. I'll take wow.
I'll take the
go
even.
Yeah, I'll take the even.
I'll go even,
Double my
okay.
money. So like he paced for 83 points in 2023, 2024. And
Yes.
other than that, never hit over 80, but was always close to it. So you know what? Yeah, let's do over. Let's do over.
Okay. All right. Very good. Nick?
Yeah, I'll agree with the over, and it's not because I want Ranger fans to think that I'm on their side necessarily. It's simply because this is a player that could hit. Like, he's been pacing for over 70 points pretty much 3 out of the last 4 years.
Mm.
So if I'm doing the math, this is simply the math. If he stays healthy for 82 games, he's going to be hitting the over.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go slightly over. I think he'll have somewhere close to 75-ish points, somewhere around that mark. I do expect a much better season from Adam Fox, especially on the offensive side of the puck. That's where Gavrikov, I think, is going to help him a lot more, especially given the fact that Gavrikov is more of a stay-at-home defenseman. He knows how to set people up. He knows how to generate traffic in front of the net. He knows how to block shots, and he can definitely pass the puck, which I think will help Adam Fox tremendously. So give me the over on the 70 for Adam Fox. Vincent Trocheck, over or under 68? Junior?
Ooh, I'm gonna go under.
Oh,
I'm gonna
under.
go
Okay.
under. Just for the simple reason that I think he'll lose. He might lose a little bit of power play time. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced, but
Mm,
if he does lose a little bit of power play time to maybe a Will Cooley, like I see a lot of guys like Zibanejad getting having a resurgence. I'm expecting Lafreniere to take another step in his development. It's now or never. Will Cooley is coming off a decent season, so a lot of guys that can potentially take that spot away from him. And
mm.
I still think he can hit like in the 60s, in the early 60s, but I don't know if he can reach that 68 point mark.
Wow, so very. I do kind of get what you're saying about him losing power play time. You know, Will Cooley having an unbelievable year. He just got a 2-year extension. We expect big things from him. So I get where you're coming from there. What about you, Nick?
If it's under, I think it's slightly under, meaning
Okay.
I have him about 65 points. And
Okay.
and the reason is because I think that he's going to play primarily with Panarin.
Mhm.
So I don't want to drop him too far down. But like Junior said, there is a power play that he might not be part of, at least not power play one. And if we look at the daily face-off projections for the Rangers power play, they have Zibanejad, JT Miller, Panarin with Lafreniere and Adam Fox. So not that these are set in stone, but if he's playing power play 2, you have to kind of take that into account. Maybe losing 5 points from his average, and that's why I have him around 65.
You must be reading my mind because I agree with Nick completely. I also have him at 65 points, and I'm going to take the under as well. You know, for all the reasons that you guys just said, you know, possibly not having him on power play 1 is going to be big. But again, like Nick, I don't want to drop him too far because, you know, again, I know he's not going to be the captain, but I still expect a pretty decent season from Trocheck. I don't expect to have the same year. He had a down year last year. Let's be honest about that. He had a big down year. But I do expect him to have a better season, but I do not expect him to hit the 70-point mark. But I will take the under, and I will go 65 points for Vincent Trocheck. Speaking of Will Cooley, he's next. Over under 53, which I think is really, really low for a guy like him. You know, I get it. He's a young kid, but 53 points? I mean, you got to give him a little more respect than that. But Nick, what do you think?
I would love it if he hits over that. Uh,
Mm,
because I own him, or I own him. I don't own the player. I own stocks of the player.
I was
Um,
gonna say
but he did hit 45 points for the first time last year.
yes.
So asking for 8 more points, it might not be out of the realm of possibility. However, it's it's still a pretty decent jump. So
Mm,
if he goes to 50, I would be happy. If he goes over 53, I think that I would be extremely happy. But
yes.
I'll take the under here because I think that he's going to be closer to the 50 mark. But you're right there. Like, we're talking 3 points difference could be, it could hit the back of his leg and go in, and you have a point, right? So these things could happen. And if you're in a hitting league, he had 301 hits last year.
Wow.
Mm,
So,
mm,
I mean, that's where his money really comes into play in
true.
fantasy if you're in a league that counts hits.
That's a great point, Junior.
Yeah, I mean, I had him between 50 and 55 points, so that's more or less where it is. This is what I like the most though is in 2023, 2024, shooting percentage was 10.9. Last year, his
Mm,
shooting percentage was 13.2. So it's not out of the ordinary. He seems to be in that 10 to 13% shooting percentage. And I think that can carry over. He scored 20 goals last year. If he brings that to 25, then we're talking 53 plus points. Give me 53 plus points for Will Cooley.
I love
wow.
it.
Okay. All right. I like where you're coming from, Junior. I'm actually gonna go over on this. I'm expecting another big year from Will Cooley. I'll be honest. I think he's gonna hit close to 60. That's how much I
Wow.
believe in this
That
kid.
would be
I really
great.
believe in him.
Wow.
I would love that.
I think every Ranger fan would. How about Alexis Lafreniere, another guy who had a down year last year? We're expecting him to bounce back. Over under 58 points. Junior?
I have the over.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have him at 60 on the nose.
Okay. Okay.
30 goals, 30 assists. I think naturally, if I think Panarin will hit over 100 points, then that'll come with a boost in points for Lafreniere. And it's now or never for him. He's got a new coach. I like the way Sullivan handles his players. That's something we haven't mentioned yet, but usually a new coach comes in and you're a little hesitant to rely heavily in terms of fantasy on those players. But with Sullivan, it's a different vibe. It's a complete different vibe. I think he can get the most out of his young guys like Will Cooley and Lafreniere, which is why I expect the Rangers to do much better next year or this year, I should say. So give me the over on Lafreniere. Hopefully, the 17 minutes of ice time goes up a little bit too.
Yeah, we'll get your guys' predictions on how the Rangers will do in a little bit. But what about you, Nick? Over under 58 for Laffy.
I have him at 60. I have him at
Wow.
60 this year because
Okay.
I see him playing with Panarin pretty much all season long. I see Sullivan getting the best out of his guys, and I could kind of see him a little bit. And he's more talented than Brian Rust, but I could see him in a Brian Rust role, where he
Mm.
plays on the top line with the best player who is Panarin on this team, and could create room in front of the net with his size, with his stick handling. Like, he has the talent to do this. I think this year with this kind of coach will make a big difference.
The reason why I said wow is because it's a trifecta. I agree with both of you. I also have him at 60 points. For all the reasons you just said. Yeah, I really think that Mike Sullivan with his new coaching staff is going to really do great things with Alexis Lafreniere. He's going to unlock a side of him that I don't think we have ever seen, other than the breakout year that he had in 22-23, which was a great year for him. And plus, last year was the first year of a 7-year extension. I think we all can maybe relax a little bit. I think he'll end up being fine. I can understand getting impatient with Lafreniere and his development, but how many coaches and systems has he had to go through? It's not fair to the young. He's 24. He's still a young kid. So I think he'll be fine. I expect a good year from him this year. Give me the over. I have him at 60. Let's go a little bit of rapid fire on these last two players here, and then we'll get into a couple of win totals here that I have. So first and foremost, a rookie, Gabe Perreault, who I expect to see a lot of ice time this year. How about over under 45 points for Gabe Perreault? Nick?
I have him at exactly 45.
There we go. Nice.
So the reason why I have him at 45 is because we always talk about on this podcast, on our podcast at least, that a rookie that comes into the league that has a large amount of talent, we're expecting him around that 45. And if you're generational, then you might have a season like 60 points or 50 points as a rookie. A really good rookie will still have 45 points, and I think Gabe Perreault has that talent to be a really
Mm,
good rookie in this league. Um, I also expect to see him on the second power play unit. I expect to see him play with a few times higher up in the lineup, especially if there's any injuries in the top six. I
mm.
think he's the first guy that comes up. So for all those reasons, I'm gonna stick with 45 points on the dot.
Junior.
Because of you, Jimmy, I'm going under.
Oh.
You sold me on the
Wait,
Brennan
what did
Othman.
I do?
You sold me on Brennan Othman when you came on our show. And I think he's gonna
That's
have a
fair.
shot.
I did.
He should have a shot before Gabe Perreault. He's entering his year 22 age season, so
Yes.
he's done his dues in the AHL. He played 22 games last year with the Rangers. I expect him maybe to get that boost. Now, whether he takes advantage of the opportunity, that will be determined. But I still think it'll take a little bit away from Gabe Perreault, and for that reason, even though Gabe Perreault could eventually get that spot, the time missed might be the reason he doesn't hit 45. Under.
No, look, hey, Junior. In all seriousness, though, I do agree with you there. I also have him at 40 points. I do expect good things from him, but I don't think he's going to fully reach his ceiling just yet. He still has a lot to learn. So I do expect a good year, but I do expect a 40-point year for Gabe Perreault. All right, we got two more. One a sleeper pick that I had to write down here. How about Gavrikov, the newest addition to the team? Over under 35 points. Junior?
Ooh. I'll go slightly under. He
Okay.
he had 30 points last year. Um I think he'll gain a little bit just by being on a pairing with Fox.
Yes.
But I don't think he'll gain that much. I think at most he'll hit 35. So I'll go under.
Nick?
I'll go. I'll go over. I'll go
Over.
over
Okay.
slightly. I'll go over slightly.
Slightly over. Okay.
And it's because I'm expecting Fox to have a very good year. And if
All right.
Fox has a very good year and he's partnered up with Fox all season long, I feel like there's opportunity there for him to be maybe the breakout guy, throwing it up the ice and getting the offensive players into it. I don't think he has all that much offense in him naturally, but he's such a good player that he's going to have a lot of time on ice. And time on
Mm,
ice equals opportunity, which I believe he will be able to kind of put a little bit more points up. This is the most offensive team that he's ever played on.
Yeah.
yes. No, I agree. I'm gonna go slightly under. I think he'll have 33 points. Just because of the fact that he's going to play with Adam Fox. And I think Adam Fox will definitely have a lot more points than Gavrikov, just because, again, Gavrikov's more of a stay-at-home defenseman who has a nose for the defensive side of the puck, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to help out Fox a ton. So I'm going to take the under slightly, and I'll get 33 points. Now, I think you know where you boys know where I'm going with this next, because I said this on your show, and I've been wanting to say it on here for a long time. But this next player
I was
is
wondering,
Mika Zibanejad.
when are we going
It's
to talk about it?
Zibanejad. Over under 67 points. Nick, I'm starting with you first. You already know where I'm going with this. But
I know where you're going.
you already know. But for my
Yeah.
audience, I'll say it in a little bit. But what do you think? Over
I'll
under?
be smashing the over. I'll be smashing the over on that one.
There you go.
I think he's going to play wing. I think Sullivan has already hinted a little bit of that moving forward. And if that's the case, that means he's playing probably with JT Miller on the second line and maybe Will Cooley. So I see a lot of opportunity for Zibanejad this year to put up better points than he did last year with less responsibility. Because as a winger, you're not going to have to worry about the defensive side as much as a center normally would, and that will let him loose a little bit on the wing to get more points from the beginning of the season.
Junior?
Yeah, I liked his mini resurgence there when JT Miller joined the team. He seemed to
Yes.
pick it up a little bit. So I too have the over. I have him at 70 plus points.
70 plus. Okay. Well, like I said, you boys know where I'm going because I had a hot take on your show that if for some reason my audience did not get a chance to hear it on your show, and if you haven't heard that, by the way, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Go check it out. But I'm smashing that over 100 times. And why do I say 100? Because I think Zibanejad's going to get 100 points.
Wow.
I really do think he's going to go off this year. I know some Ranger fans are going to call me insane, but I really do fully believe in my heart that with Chris Kreider out the door, I understand the chemistry was there between him and Zibby for many years, but it kind of fell off last year. Remember that.
Yeah.
I fully believe that with Kreider out the door and with a brand new coaching staff, they're going to unlock something in Mika Zibanejad that I don't think we've ever seen before. He's 32 years old. He's not getting any younger. And you know what? I think this is going to be his best season yet. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'll come on here and say that I was wrong. I will apologize profusely on air, but I fully believe that Mika Zibanejad is going to have a 100-point year.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it.
Can you imagine 2 100-point players on the Rangers this year?
Panarin and Zibby, the guys who you would expect to do good things.
Playoffs.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? We'll get you guys predictions if they can get there or not later. Let's get into a couple of win totals here. Let's start with Igor Shesterkin. Over under 33 wins for Shesty. Nick?
So we rated him as our number 3 goalie, top 3 goalie in the league this year. So I will go over on the win total there. I think this is a big bounce back for the entire Rangers team, and I think a big part of that bounce back will be Shesterkin playing amazing elite numbers again.
Junior?
Yeah, he's a goalie that plays a lot of volume.
Yes.
So the opportunity to win all those games is there. And again, we mentioned it earlier, another Russian, another 2-week break. And for a goalie who plays a lot of games that has a lot of volume, that 2-week break is huge. He'll play all the important games down the stretch. So we're smashing the over.
Oh yeah. I'm smashing the over right there with you boys. I have him at 35 wins. Slightly over, but I have him at 35 wins. I expect another big year for Igor Shesterkin. Now, if only his defense can actually help him out, I do actually expect the defense to be a lot better than it has been the past few years. So because of that, I do expect Igor to have a better year than he did last year. Yeah, granted, Igor liked numbers last year, no, but he still did enough to try and help the win, but his team did not help him out. It wasn't fair to him. I just don't want them wasting the prime of his career, and I don't think they will this year. So I will take the over on the wins with 35. Now, Rangers win total this year. This was a tough one for me. Over under 45 wins. Junior?
Wow, you hit it on the money.
Oh! Wow.
Let's see. 45 wins. You know what? I'm going to go over.
Oh, wow.
If we're thinking Shesterkin will win 35 plus games, Quick will win the difference. Give me the over. These guys they've got a great coach. Their superstars will get a much needed 2-week break. The stars are aligning for the Rangers. They just need to put it together. So give me the over.
Wow. So hang on a minute. If you have them at the over, how many wins do you have them getting?
47.
47. Wow. So based on that, do you think they're a playoff team?
Yes.
You do. Okay. So with that being said, that's going to lead me into my next question. And Nick, I'll ask you the same thing. Where do you see them finishing in the Metro? Do you see them finishing in top 3, or do you have them as a wild card team?
They're gonna fight for that. They're gonna fight for that 3rd seed. I think they can get the 3rd seed. At
Okay.
47 wins, they'll get the 3rd seed.
All right.
If
All
not,
right.
maybe even the 2nd.
Wow. All right. So you have them finishing somewhere in the top 3 and making the playoffs. I like it. Nick, what about you? Over under 45, and do you think they will be a playoff team this year?
I do think they're going to be a playoff team. I believe that I also have them at 46.
46. Okay.
Just to give you an idea, last year Florida Panthers had 47, and they're not known for the regular season. They're known for turning it on in the playoffs.
They finished 3rd, I think, right, in the Atlantic?
Yes,
they finished 3rd. And that's exactly where I see the Rangers in the Metro, finishing 3rd, making the playoffs, and battling it out probably with a New Jersey Devils team or a Carolina team right off the bat. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I think some fans might call me a bit pessimistic for this. I'm going under, but slightly. I'm going to say 43. Only because I really do think that this division is Carolina's to lose until proven otherwise. I still trust Rod Brind'Amour. He's a terrific coach. Carolina's a much different team than last year. I expect them to do great things. The Devils, while I do have concerns about their injuries, especially with Jack Hughes, they got better. And look, the Capitals, I'm not sleeping on them. Considering the year they had last year, riding that high with Alex Ovechkin, and considering this might be Ovi's last year playing in the NHL, I expect big things from them, so I'm not sleeping on the Caps. So I do think the Rangers will make the playoffs, but I think they'll be fighting for that first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. So I have them at 43 wins this
Jimmy, I think this is going to be one of those seasons where everything is out of whack. It's going to be one of those seasons where there's going to be so many different like things happening, surprises. Like it's going to be wild. I really cannot wait for this season. I haven't felt this way in so long about the start of an NHL season. So,
same here.
It's going to be great. And then there's the Olympics, like it's the cherry on top.
I'm so excited for the Olympics. You have no idea. Now, to wrap up this conversation here, you guys saw it in our little pregame notes, so I think you know what I'm going to ask. I want you each to give me one hot take that you have for the Rangers this season, whether it be a player, a team stat, or whatever the case may be. Give me your one hot take for the New York Rangers for the 25-26 season. And Nick, I'm starting with you.
All right, here we go. Vezina finalist, Igor Shesterkin.
Vezina finalist, Igor. Wow.
He will finish with the 2nd most votes out of all the goalies this year. And the person that's going to win it, I'm not going to mention it because you're going to think I'm crazy. But no, I had a bold prediction in our podcast when we did the Anaheim Ducks preview that Dostal was going to finish top 5 in Vezina voting. I think Shesterkin is going to finish 1 or 2. Like he's either going to win it or he's going to finish 2nd this year.
I like that one a lot. What about you, Junior?
All right, this is going to be a really hot take, as they usually are when they come from my mouth. But Othman will be a Calder finalist.
Who will?
Othman. He'll be a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Oh shoot! Okay, that's bold right there. Why Hoffman?
Just because I think he's the one who's going to get the opportunity, and he's really good. He's going to have a coach that's going to work with him. He's done really well with the younger players. So I think it's just going to be one of those things where he's going to be at the right place with the right players, and it's just all going to click.
That's fire right there. I mean,
it's got to be hot. It's got to be spicy.
Hey, look, you already know mine because I said it on your show and I said it here. I'll say it again. Mika Zibanejad, 100 points. That's my hot take this year. And look, again, it may not happen. It may not. But I really do expect Mike Sullivan to unlock something in Zibby that I don't think we've ever seen before. Especially with Kreider out the door. He's going to have a lot more motivation than ever. I expect a big bounce back year from Mika. 100 points. Before we go, tell the people where they can find your show, where they can find you on social media, and what leagues can they join for your fantasy hockey league.
All right, I'll tell you where you can find this, and Nick will tell you all about our listener league. So
Go ahead.
you can find, first of all, you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Partial Breakaway Podcast, Fantasy Hockey Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, X, or Twitter at Partial Break Pod, and any audio podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple, you name it. You search us, Partial Breakaway Podcast, you'll find us, and we'd love your support.
And also support Jimmy, guys, because you know what? One great thing about Jimmy right now is that he is so entertaining. He knows exactly how to speak. He comes out clear. His ideas are clear. Like it's rare to find, and we've done a lot of this like recently. It's rare to find people that could do that. So you're doing a great job, and I hope everybody subscribes and likes your content.
Wow. Dude,
Uh,
thank you. That made my day, man. Thank you.
No problem, no problem at all. It's true though. It's not just because I'm throwing flowers. One thing also, guys, join our listener league, Partial Breakaway Podcast. If you want to join, it's $15 to enter. You could have one team, you could enter multiple teams. It's a pick 'em league, so don't worry about a draft. It's you pick the players that you want to join the team. Keep it under 35 million. We do 2 centers, 2 left wings, 2 right wings, 2 defensemen, 1 goalie. You don't have to memorize that. All the rules are going to be displayed on our Discord and our website, so don't worry about any of that stuff. But join our league, and I know Jimmy said that he'd be nice enough to put it in the comments there of our link, and we will welcome everybody, whether you're a beginner or not, to join. It's going to be a lot of fun this season.
Yep, links will be down below in the description on YouTube and on all audio platforms if you guys are interested in joining. Go subscribe to the Partial Breakaway Hockey Podcast with Nick Jr. and producer Vince. Shout out to him as well. We miss you, Vince. We wish you could be here, but we hope you're doing well, and we hope to have you on soon. But gentlemen, this was an absolute blast. I really did enjoy talking some fantasy hockey with you, giving some point projections for the Rangers. We got to do this again real soon. But thank you guys for your time and for all the kind words. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Hey, go subscribe to these guys. Seriously, if you want the best fantasy hockey information, go subscribe to the Partial Breakaway Hockey Podcast. I will leave links down below in the description. But that is going to do it for us for From the Blue Seats. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like what you saw or heard, make sure you hit that like button on YouTube and subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified of all episodes that air. Also, make sure you subscribe on all audio platforms, including Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are everywhere. And also, make sure you follow us on all social media at BlueSeats94. Use hashtag BlueSeats to chat with us and send us fan mail. We love getting fan mail from you guys from the BlueSeats at gmail.com. That's from the BlueSeats at gmail.com. Send us fan mail with any questions or opinions that you may have. Let us know your thoughts on today's discussion. Alongside Nick and Junior from Partial Breakaway, my name is Jimmy. This is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Preseason's almost here, and we are pumped. Go Blue Shirts, and we'll catch you next time. Peace!